Okay, we have a inequality question here for number 8. We want to find C when C divided by negative 2 is greater than negative 6. And I'll show you two different ways that you can do this. There's inequality properties also, and then there's a way we can just intuitively think through our answer choices and see what might be the correct one. So first, let's look at some of our number properties. Let's just walk through and see if we can logically think this thing through. So C divided by negative 2 has to be greater than negative 6. Now we know any negative number divided by a negative number, regardless of what they are, that is going to be a positive. It's going to result in a positive answer. And any positive number is going to be bigger than negative 6, going to be greater than negative 6. So we can have any negative number we want to have. So from 0 going back into infinity, any of those numbers will work, because negative divided by negative is a positive, and all positives will be greater than negative 6. So we need an answer choice that is going to include every negative number. We'll rule out all those that don't include every negative number. So let's look at A. C is greater than negative 12. Well, negative 11 would be greater than negative 12, and negative 10 and negative 9, all those numbers would be greater than negative 12 because they're actually, because you're moving up on the number line, so they're greater than negative 12. But that doesn't take into account negative 12. Negative 12 over negative 2 would be a positive 6, and that is greater than negative 6. And as we said earlier, any negative number will work. So negative 13, negative 14, all of those. So this limits us to negative 12 on the negative part of the number line, and we need all the rest of them. So we're going to work that one out. All right, and then our next would be C is less than 12. So that would be every number every number less than 12. So 11.99 and then back on the number line. That would include all the negative numbers. So this is a possibility. Let's look at C. C, answer choice C would be C, the value of C would be greater than 12. So that would be 12 point, let's say 12.1, and everything greater than that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That does not include any negative numbers. So we will mark this one out. And then D, answer choice D, the value of C would be less than 3. So that would include all of our negative numbers that we want. And then any values less than 3. So 2 would be included in that, and 1 would be included in that. So B and D are possibilities. Now, the question becomes, if it's going to be all numbers less than 3, so that's 3 going back on the number line, and all numbers less than 12, so 12 going back on the number line that way, and then 3 going back on the number line that way. So we got to decide between these two, which one is the correct answer? Well, answer choice B is going to include 3 also, because it's everything going from 12 to the left on the number line or back towards 0, so it's going to pick up 3. So the question becomes, the numbers between 3 and 12, are they a possibility for making this a true statement up here? So we're talking about 4, 5, and 6, those numbers. So let's just pick one, and we're dividing by 2, so I could pick 4. 4 would be bigger than 3, but still less than 12, so it would fall. So we need some number. We're going to check the numbers between 3, I'll come over here, and 12, and try to determine if any of those numbers satisfy this. So we're going to choose 4. So we're going to plug 4 into this, and 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2 is our result, and that is greater than negative 6. And that does satisfy the equation. Right. If you go all the way up, if you plug in 12, 12 divided by negative 2, let's do that. 12 divided by negative 2 greater than negative 6. And a positive divided by negative is a negative number. So we have negative 6, greater than negative 6. Now this is not true, all right, but remember, it doesn't say equal to here. It just says less than. So we know at 12 it is equal to, so anything less than that, all right, is going to be greater than, as we did here with the 4, we chose it. So B, so we would then rule out D because 4 works, and 4 is greater than 3, but it's still less than 12. And we ruled out, when we process of elimination, we got it down to B, but when we divided 12 by -2, we got a -6, so it needs to be something that's less than 12 that includes all of the negative numbers. So B would be our answer choice. Now, if you're solving this on the inequalities, when you move the -2 up, how you would solve for C, we treat this not like the equal sign now. All right, when we're dealing with it this way, now it has to be flipped. So you would multiply both sides by -2 to solve for C times -2. Excuse me, make that bigger. All right. And you have to change this sign when you do that in inequality properties. All right. So now you would have C is less than, and -6 times -2 is a positive 12. So either one of those ways, if you remember your inequality properties when you're multiplying or dividing and changing your sign, and or you can just logically think through the number line and try some numbers out. First, I would try to use the process of elimination to get rid of some answers, as we did. We got rid of A and C and got it down to B and D. So just take a little time and you can do these. Just think them through.